good. I knew that I wouldn't.
All right. Thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And now we're going to get back to your host.
Did anyone else's mushrooms kick in? Welcome to Revolution Radio, Studio A. This is Planet Collingwood. My name is Monty Dean, and you're awesome. I have to keep telling you this, people, really. Your awesomeness is just awesome. And with me, I'm awesome, and you're awesome. We're double the awesome. A big thank you to Why Not and the Wi-Fires for the last 2 hours. I only caught the last 10 minutes because I've been watching Get Back, the Beatles documentary, which is 8 hours long. Don't let me drown. So I'll be probably singing some songs written in 1969, but why not, since time's just like weird. If you enjoyed the last 2 hours with Why Not and Co, please go to freedomslips.com and or revolution.radio and donate what you can. Click on the Patreon, $5 here, a couple of shekels there. We don't accept children, that's the other side. And when you're there, pop into the merch and buy some T-shirts and caps and mouse pads and onesies, and they still don't have the old cotton gin. Too big to, can't really post that. I've tried. And then once you're there, pop into the chat room and hang out with like-minded, like-hearted, just loved people. They're having a wonderful conversation at the moment, but I'm sure as we plow on, the normal thing here at Planet Collingwood, there'll be stunned silence from the chat room because they're laughing so much. Now, someone I like to laugh with is Cortek. How are you, my good man?
Hello, bonjour.
Hey, don't start with that Frenchy. Oh, bonjour. Good to see you, my friend.
Nothing, yeah. I wanted to say something about France, but they're not doing much. Korea's talking plasma.
Yeah, but well, no, the French people are going off like a frog on a sock on a fry pan.
What about this
yellow?
time?
Oh, they're still doing the yellow vest thing.
What was that again? For the first time.
They're protesting / rioting against the New World Order.
Fair enough. What's with the yellow vests?
I guess.
Is it like a movement to show you on the right side?
Yeah, I would say it's the workers started to rise up against the government, French government.
Oh, and, it's Dayglow. It's Day-Vis, high-vis Dayglow.
Yeah, they're making a statement. It's like, we'll go on just... They're doing the opposite of government. They're being transparent by glowing. So yeah, it's referred to as the yellow vest. Here in Melbourne, when the CMFU... sounds like an insult that the union did their protest. Yeah, the tradies. They were wearing orange, and the spin and misinformation about that. Our former Prime Minister Bill, I'm boring as crap, Shorten, said, "Remember his zingers? Oh, I got him." It's like, what? Why do most of our leaders are the ones that you would have beaten up in primary school, elementary school?
Because they thought they'd get back in society by going into politics.
Yeah,
I think that accounts for about 86% of politicians.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm not popular, I know. I'll rule from above.
I'll get back at you guys one day. You'll see. You'll rue the day.
Yeah, Tism have a song called Dictatorship, and one of the lines is, you don't look for when you run the country. Just had to censor that because I want to keep on air. So, yeah, it's like saying the N-word. I don't say the N-word, but your brain's just gone, there you are. So there you are. And here we are. And start off the bat, some good news. I'll just go into my radio voice because I'm feeling a bit chipper. I've found somewhere to live.
Hey!
And I'm allowed to live there. I should really point that out. I did. I filled out some forms and handed it in, and they said yes. It's
Excellent.
Not like I found somewhere to live. People are living there, but
I like the look of it.
Yes, it is 11 houses from here, so big move. I think I'll hire a van for an hour because I think I've got about 9 or 10 big things, but everything else it's just me and my little Astra trundling down the road. So if I lived at number 44, I'm moving to 33.
Nice. See,
So,
all the
yeah.
same people on the street in the same shops.
Well, I'm actually crossing the road, and
Ooh,
so I
jeez.
yeah, there's less chance of being hit by a bus now. So
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Well, I like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
odds.
Yeah, well, I've said that to my mum as a joke. My dad said that as a joke. Then he went on about you're not vaccinated, you can't come to Christmas, you're selfish. Normal stuff. It's like someone's been into the Kool-Aid.
Can we go? Can we go into cough corner for a second? Week 89 to flatten the curve of 2 weeks to trust your government, basically.
Yeah.
And there is something else that has gone on.
It's something else. Are you referring to we need Optimus Prime and the Autobots to come to Earth
that's right.
and
That's
defeat the
Yes.
Omicron? Yeah.
That's exactly what I was getting to.
Yeah.
That funny latest strain that everyone's just memeing their faces off as how stupid you would have to be to fall for this shit again. But
Well,
apparently we've got a date here in New South Wales, at least halfway through December. Oh, that's what I thought of. The Omicron is what's it called? An anagram of no Grimbo, I heard.
Oh, and moronic. Now, it's an anagram of moronic. See how they're effing with you? No, I think the Prime Creator writes better jokes. It's just like happenstance because they skipped over the Greek letter nu, which is nu, because those wacky kids since the 90s are like, I don't want to spell new. It's got 3 letters. I'm gonna just save time and put a u at the end.
Yeah,
and
I mean, use number 4 instead of FOR.
Yeah. Idiots. And so that's
demolishing the language there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and that's how you get new metal. And the next letter from that was G, which is XI. Strangely enough, not 11, but Winnie the Pooh. I mean, the leader of China.
Is new metal's all rock lyrics in emojis and text speak?
No, they're basically down tunes, trip over your lip, hip hop to metal beats from the 90s.
That never lasted very long.
Well, no, it's come back. Like Limp Bizkit's still touring, and they've got an album coming out. So
But
Korn's
does anyone
still
actually like them? Korn, maybe they're a little heavier.
Korn's very popular. They're selling, and Limp Bizkit people have got through that phase, and some like, hey, this is not bad. So they're playing
There's
festivals,
no one else around.
and the crowds are staying. Also, if they sucked, it's like when Metallica released their album San Anger. Oh, that album sucks. It sold 5 million records. Can I suck like that? Please let me suck like that.
How do I suck that bad?
Yeah, if I get $2 from it, that's $10 million. I'll be fine to suck like that. And it's just an artistic expression.
Did it suck like that?
Oh, it's just different.
What did you think personally? And just between you and me.
I bought the T-shirt. I jokingly say it's a great demo. Can't wait for the album. But
like it.
Hey. Oh dear God. Hey, it's 1945.
Where'd that come from? That was great.
Don't let me frown. So yes, been watching Get Back, the Beatles, and it's in 3 parts, but it goes for 8 hours. So
how's that going? Way up to about halfway?
No. I have, as I quickly look, I have 38 minutes left. Yeah, 39 minutes left. The police are about to get her into Apple Core, the building, because the Beatles are actually playing on top of the roof.
I thought that was a legal gig. So your synopsis with spoilers
of
Get Back.
Oh, right, yes. Very, very poignant. I live in Victoria. Get back! Get back! It's good. If you're a Beatles fan, it's awesome. Also, if you're a musician, it's awesome to see how songwriters put together stuff. I've got an idea. Oh, can you play it, please? Oh, I will. But if you just like to see them play music, oh, can you play a friggin' song all the way through, please? It's 8 hours long. I was talking to a friend earlier who's a Beatles fan. It's like, watch it once so you can go, yeah, I watched it. And if you watch it again, you can. If you don't, you don't.
I like the triple ladder one where you don't, but I appreciate that some people like that stuff.
Oh well, yeah, they're a small band from that Liverpool.
Has it got the real Paul in it?
Well, see, now that's the thing.
It's a stunner.
I would say yes. People say, oh, there's Fall McCartney. There's Paul too. They found someone called Billy Shears, and because he looked alike, and it's like, well, I've just watched nearly 7.5 hours of this fake Paul writing. What are the chances of they finding a musical genius that looked like Paul McCartney?
I thought they had a radio competition for it over in the States.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, but still have the same level of writing capacity. Like, because he didn't dictate, but he was writing most of them.
That's where songs like I Can't Believe It's Getting Better came from and all stuff like that. It all makes sense after that period when you look at the lyrics, but never could put them together as what they were actually pertaining to in the process.
Well, it's Trevor Stock. Well, maybe the earlier stuff, but I've just watched 8 hours of the Beatles writing and recording, rehearsing, and recording songs in the same room with the alleged second Paul. And so obviously a clone makes more sense than finding someone who happens to have the same, who's left-handed, looks exactly the same as Paul McCartney, and can write and has the memories of Paul McCartney and write those level of songs.
You sure it's just not a musical and they're all deep fake stage actors?
Well, it is being created by Peter Jackson. He's the director, and apparently there's new technology for what's it called? Music learning application, because it's 60 hours of film and 150 hours of audio, because it was nearly a month, the whole project. And they've taught, now you're into the music, you like, the skiffle.
I like the skiffle.
Yeah, the like the mashups where they can match beats and they isolate parts of the song.
Yeah, there's a lot of beat matching whilst keeping the pitch. Yeah,
so you can get like the Annie Lennox singing "Sweet Dreams Are Made of These," and it's put over the bass line of a Slipknot song.
You can do mashups like the girl in Pitch Perfect 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now they've taken that technology, and because conversations were all, like, you've got the mic, so whoever's closest is louder, but you've got, say, John Lennon talking to Yoko in the background. They've taught this technology to hone in on that piece of audio. And I just realized the CIA's probably had this technology for decades. You know what I mean? It's been used in general public documentary style. They've actually created programs to find the voice. They can find people's voice because of the voice print, and they can isolate it and then bring it up, clean it up. And so when you're watching it, it just sounds like everyone has a microphone in their face.
Wow. Yeah, that's super cool. They've come a long way with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but also being in Revolution Radio, it's like
in a controlling kind of way. Feel bad praising the methods of control for their technological brilliance.
And deep fakes and everything else like that. And at some point, this is where your intuition kicks in, where it's like, no, that seems like fake, because we've seen it in movies and villains where someone's
Tom
wearing
Cruise.
A mask. Yeah, exactly.
His whole career, deep fake.
Well, I did like Tom in Michelin
Man, where he's the fat guy from
It's Michelin Man
Ghostbusters?
Impossible. Yeah, It's like the Michelin Man is sent to a fat farm to lose weight.
I want technology. I want to be able to talk about movie mashups like that, like we were talking about. People can mash up. I want it to happen. I want it to computer give me Die Hard with
Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, and
National
Star Trek
3 with the guy who's emptying his shitter out the front. Mix those up, and I want to watch the movie for approximately, dial in your own time, 20 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Well, they have done that. It's on YouTube, where they've actually got Star Wars and Star Trek fighting each other. And someone actually put together Sherlock Holmes starring Benedict Cumberbatch. Cumberbatch kids.
Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah, if you've seen, he plays Sherlock Holmes, and Martin Freeman plays Watson, and it's the latest incarnation of Sherlock Holmes, which is written by Stephen Moffat and I've gone blank.
What was the tricky thing they did? The other guy.
Someone actually put together the 11th Doctor, played by Matt Smith, and they made the Doctor and Sherlock meet each other because that's like a wet dream for fans.
Yeah, that's
like,
cool.
Oh, yeah.
Wet dreams for Who fans, Whovians.
Yeah, and Sherlock fans, because it's Stephen Moffat. He was making Sherlock as well as Doctor Who at the same time.
Ah, well, that's super cool.
Yeah, and so they're only 5 minutes long because yeah, you got to make it good. They can't do a 90-minute thing because they've got to go find all the footage and then
5 minutes
is a
long time.
Oh yeah. I've been rendering because hang on, have we talked about the latest?
Let's just say no.
Okay, good. Because time is fleeting.
Have we talked about how octopuses and cephalopods and lobsters have been declared sentient beings?
No, not
yet. We can come back to that.
Yeah, because there was a protest in Melbourne and Sydney as well. It was only 4 days. See, I found out I'm moving and everything's moving real fast and slow at the same time. Damn this third part reality, the 3D reality. I ran about between 500,000 to 700,000 people actually protested in Melbourne on Saturday. If I think, hang on, where's my phone? I'll have to check that out. I can't remember. That was last week, wasn't it?
Have you guys got an exit date for this ridiculousness, or is Dan just going for complete control of the universe? Is that where he wants to head, or
we shall get there? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was this Saturday. Wow. It's only been half a week, and it feels like a month. I actually, on a whim, a spur of moment, I went to my schedule was free, so I actually went into Melbourne. It's a nice day, and I put up some photos. One photo, I had one person on my Instagram basically say there were Nazi symbols there. Are you a Nazi? And then oh wait, there's more. And then quarter of an hour later, you're all a bunch of Nazis. We've beat you once and we'll beat you again. And I'm looking at it going, you're unhinged. Anyway, so I put up that, but the march started off. The march only had to move like say half a block one way, but they actually went a walk. They walked down Burke Street down to Queen Street and do a big U-turn and then come up Flinders Street. And
you got to do a U-turn to come up Flinders Street.
Well,
I don't know any of these.
Well, if you let me explain, I will come over to your house.
Okay, get to the details, or you have to come to tell me in my own ear.
Okay. That's probably the worst word to learn in Spanish because they keep repeating themselves and "que" means what. Anywho, I realised they were coming up Flinders Street, and so I was on the tram stop on the corner of Spring Street and Flinders Street. Spring Street is where the Parliament is, but like a block and a half up. They were coming to what was referred to as Treasury Gardens. So they would come off Flinders Street and walk straight into the gardens and basically fill it and wait for speeches. It's the biggest 21st birthday ever. I decided to film the crowd walking past. Short version, an hour and 6 minutes later, I wish I brought my tripod.
That's good. Melbourne's showing the rest of the country how to do it, really, honestly.
Well, yeah, because like I decided to actually get everyone walking past because it's like, there's only 10,000 people, blah, blah, blah. It's like it took over an hour for the whole march to walk past me.
You sure they just weren't going around the block?
No.
Doing the old climb in from the other side of the clown car kind of thing, keep coming out?
No, it wasn't a false flag at a elementary school on the east coast of America.
Zing!
Got to say that correctly so I don't end up in court like a certain A. Jones. Zing! Now, no, because I was obviously looking at it and there was some very attractive young people there. And
there's a
girls were hot too.
Bit of sunshine out here today. Come on, summer. Summer's on. Come on, summer.
Oh, yeah. Well, Melbourne, it got to 32 degrees Celsius and then it rained and went down to 16. It's like that. We had a cooling off period. It's quite good.
That's what it does. It's kind of tropical sometimes like that.
Yeah, well, that's Melbourne weather. It's like hot, hail, then the
everything.
Hot, hail again. I remember one Australia Day where it rained and it was 40 degrees. And so, like 10 minutes later, the steam rising up. It's like, what a bold move from a rain cloud. It's like, nah, bugger, it's 42.
Sometimes Melbourne can get so hot. Like freakish days, it just goes boiling point.
Yep. It's just where we're placed on the planet, and we do have freaky weather. Anywho, since I think the alphabet agencies have stopped listening in because we're bouncing around like a Super Bowl in an underground car park. What? What are they? They were talking about thing, and then Dan Andrews, he's got a hunchback. What?
Dan Andrews is a cephalopod?
No, then he would be actually liked more. But yeah,
sorry.
Deutschland has actually said, Germany said that octopuses and they're sentient beings.
This is about some kind of UK law.
Oh, okay.
Octopuses. Is that the plural? Octopus.
Octopi.
I thought it was octopi as well, but obviously, this octopuses with one S and other cephalopods have been protected in science for years, but have not received any protection outside science until now. Octopuses, crabs, and lobsters will receive greater welfare protection. I didn't know they were on welfare. In UK law, founding an LLC.
Bludgers. They're all a bunch of blood. They've got 8 arms and legs. They can bloody work for it.
They can bloody check out stuff at the bloody supermarket much faster than humans.
Oh, yeah. Shelf stackers. That's what they need. Anyway.
Shelf stackers.
Yeah. Have you tasted lobster, though? Oh, when Homer eats Pinchy. It's exactly like that. This is so delicious. I wish Pinchy was here.
It's pretty amazing, but they've got 9 brains. Is that correct? It's something like that.
Well, that's just proven that Dan Andrews isn't an octopus.
Well, is that you with sound effects?
No. You mean I put effort into my show? No, there's someone in the background. All hail the Row Nation.
All hail the zingers coming out. But if they got 9 brains, then they got 1 for each limb and a spare one just to think about things while they're all doing their own things.
Well, it's like the left-right wing paradigm. Well, who's
in
the
a
brain
circular
of the
in a circular kind of way?
Yeah, and why not? And some people say that they're alien. It's like, yeah, but they've been here millions of years. Dolphins as well, and I think dolphins have. Also, they're getting recognition as sentient beings. Ironically, and I mean that heavily, I've watched 2 episodes of the Netflix cartoon animation Inside Job, and I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, no.
It's noise. It's noise.
Well, it's basically the premise is that it's making fun of all of us. But there's some clever stuff in it, like the 7-Eleven is called 9/11. So there's little bits. I giggled once or twice.
There's a couple of giggles, but overall, it adds to the noise rather than the clarification or clarity of.
Yeah. Oh, we're making fun of Q, and it's a cartoon now. And it's like, all right, yeah. So it's sort of the Family Guy type of what's the word, structure. So yeah, I mean, watch it if you want.
The production's okay.
It's
overall, there's a few jokes in there, and overall, it's kind of talking about things that a lot of people are looking at, and so it seems to.
They're actually trying to make fun of it in a negative way. So it's just it's fluff and nonsense, and you're being silly.
Yeah,
and instead of like how we do it, where we try and make it silly, but there's heavy information underneath the silliness, so it gets past the censors.
It does come through as noise to me. After a few, I had a look at it, and it seems like it's there just to create more noise. Like any mindless Hollywood film there that's named something after something actually kind of important or interesting, or it's just there to. Yeah, I fill up your first page of search terms. So
yeah. It's not even a popcorn thing because you probably just choke on the. It's for insomniacs basically. Oh, this is better. But I recently watched. I've got 3 movies to go in the X-Men franchise. I've got both Logan and the 2 Deadpool movies. But I watched now everyone cans X-Men 3, The Last Stand. Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, watch it now. Not so much. It's the weakest one, except for Dark Phoenix, but that came out of wokedom. That's probably the worst one. But Last Stand, it's like, no, it's an hour and a half long, and it fits perfectly well, and the quality is so much better than we've gotten in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's all gone to shit, hasn't it?
Yeah, because it's all about.
It was like that for a long time.
Yeah, but in the timing point is roughly like it sort of was creeping in, but Ghostbusters 2016, that one is sort of like all right, we'll plant our flag here, and it's like, oh, there's 2 hours I'm not getting back. Apparently though, the new Ghostbusters, which is Ghostbusters Afterlife, that is getting good reports. There's fan service and it's not perfect, but it's
better than the last one.
Oh, much.
That wouldn't be hard.
Yeah. Also, it's December, except for the west coast of the United States and Hawaii. Welcome. Yep. Welcome to Christmas. Just I bring it up because I want to remind everyone that Die Hard 1 and 2 are Christmas movies.
They're not Christmas movies.
Yes, they bloody are.
Who had this conversation? I recently was in some kind of medium where someone was talking about whether Die Hard was a Christmas movie or not.
It always comes up every Christmas.
Did we watch the same show or something?
No,
this weird connection in my mind. Get out of my mind.
Speaking of X-Men, Charles, get out of my mind.
To put my metal hat on again.
No, yes, that poor Magneto. He goes through a lot of things. Anywho,
maybe if he didn't have the hat on, he could walk. If you had the chance to,
he's spine severed.
Mental powers, but you have to be, but you had to be in a wheelchair.
But also the character was created in the mid '60s. Just let it go, man. Just let it go. Where was I, Mr. Interrupting? Friggin' mumble, grump, mumble.
You're wondering where your theme music was for Pedantic Man?
No, I was trying. I tried to bring up something to talk about, and then you go, "Oh, banana," and then we try and get back to what I was talking about. You get back where you ought to be. That started out as a protest song. Anywho, that's from 1969. So yeah, that's the other thing where people say, "Oh, movies are terrible. I don't watch movies." Well, you do have the 20th century. There's 1 or 2 movies from there that you can watch.
Banana.
Oh, for God's sake. It's an audio medium. Don't show me a photo of 3 bananas. 4 bananas.
There's a sneaky one underneath, isn't there?
Yeah. And actually, I saw someone refer to banana as yellow tree dicks. And that made me giggle for about 25 minutes.
I've heard that.
Do you want to explain what you just mean by that? Yellow tree dicks? I've had that. What
go up the tree, get yourself a bunch.
Oh, right. Okay, right. You've picked bananas. You weren't accosted or abused by someone who...
with them in their hand, no.
Yeah, or you had the infliction of a yellow... Doctor, I need to... I've got a problem. What is it? My penis has turned yellow and it's got a banana flavour to it.
There's branches and leaves coming out the side where my balls used to be.
Yeah, it was green, but now it's yellow, and I'm afraid it's going to turn brown. That's what bananas do. It's not a racial joke at all. Just want to point out. We have to point this out now because comedy.
It's a bit wincy talking about things like that. A bit wincy talking about the ones that go brown, not have this.
You know your French accent is terrible. It is.
Apparently, Korea talks plasma.
What's your career? I'm a comedian. No, the country. Oh, right. Yeah. So what's been going on? I just realized by moving, it's like, well, hang on, life can go on. And, there's a pandemic out there. All right. Not in my world, but you do you. You live in fear. Go on. So
Go on.
Now, the thing, as we always have to point out, when we make light of the negative things happening in the world, it's like, don't ignore them. Just don't engage and give it energy. Like, yes, I nearly said Donald Trump. Joe Biden, or actually, I'll share a meme in a second. He's still doing his thing, does affect people, but charity starts at home, and you create your own universe. So work out that. But the meme I saw, and this is in Nebraska, someone actually paid for this billboard.
What is it?
It's a photo of Jill Biden, allegedly a doctor, who is the wife of the former vice president of the United States, and it said, "For God's sake, please stop. He thinks his name is Brandon now." And we're like, see, when your faith in humanity comes back, and it's like, well, that's an example of like, yeah, come on now. Like when the Queen and Prince Philip, they visited Australia in the 80s at some point, and they're in Sydney, and of course they're getting off the boat, and everyone's like, oh, we're peasants. You look at you, you're a goddess. But someone made
my little flag.
Yeah, but someone made a banner that said "G'day, Betty."
Fair enough.
Which is Betty is a nickname for someone who is called Elizabeth.
Did they get it 4 weeks later when that was explained to them?
I thought it was funny, and that's why I put it out there. Also, remember, ladies and gentlemen, at Planet Collingwood, there are jokes. If they don't work, that's the joke.
Where's the big metal wrench falling down on the metal floor sound? The clanger sound.
I don't know. Are you getting metaphysical?
No.
You're going meta, man.
Just testing if it was actually you with the sound.
No, that's one way of breaking the flow. Thanks for that.
So apparently, Korea talks plasma.
Oh, for God's sake! All right, what are you talking about? You and your what? So what? Korea brings out a television. This is not shocking news to me.
Yeah, they make TVs. No, they're talking about plasma rotation and stuff like that. So they, what do you mean
plasma rotation? Like what?
It's a whole thing about different energy being able to be sourced from a plasma state rather than a liquid state. I thought like all the experiments that seem to have been done with the Glocker and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. We have an audience. Sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted. Yeah, I get it. Oh, that's right. People are listening. Oh, I do apologize.
Shut up.
Shut up, man. Stop. Because I thought you meant like Keith Richards goes to Switzerland and has all his blood changed. That plasma.
He must.
Well, he does. Yeah. Actually, there's a meme as well. Adam, I have created Eve. Who's that? That's Keith Richards. He was here when I got here.
I saw that one somewhere. Apparently, he's got some interesting cures for the common house cold. Or is there such a thing anymore?
I'm not sure if he's got diabetes, but he seems to be injecting insulin a lot. Well, he used to. What, a needle joke in pandemic? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I offend you?
No. I think it feels like needle jokes have been ostracized as much as the C word. Maybe less so. Maybe deservedly less so.
Yeah. Well, I thought you said Beatles. I really have to stop watching that documentary. Or Beatles joke. Get back what you want. Don't let me down. And also, you'll love it as well. You actually hear Yoko's there, obviously, and they start jamming, and she's on vocals. That's a unique artistic expression.
Is it terrible?
Well, have you heard Yoko Ono sing?
No, but I assume it would be kind of tinny sounding.
No, basically, what you need to get the same sort of effect. Key? I'm trying to answer your question. What you need to do is...
I'm trying to get it right before you say
I don't think you'll... No, I'll explain what it is. I will tell you, and you'll go, I wouldn't have thought of that. You need to grab one of your testicles and get a hammer, and then hit the testicle with a hammer.
You would not believe what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, yes, I would, because you can't find a wrench. Yes, callback. And but she's jamming along, and I think people need to watch this so they can understand my Hillary Clinton joke, where apparently Yoko has said that she had an affair with Hillary. Yeah, when apparently she was attractive in the 70s. And I'm thinking, I've heard her sing. I don't really need to hear Yoko Ono climax.
Yeah, that's a terrible story. Or imagine her.
Well, yeah.
Either of them.
All right, stop now. See, this is the power of suggestion. So,
The power of love. Well, you know, maybe.
Yeah. Hang on, my cat's yelling at me because she stayed outside for fun. Actually, just talk for 30 seconds. I need to actually go talk to my cat. So
All right.
I'll be back in a second.
So this is like an episode of an Australian show which was called Skippy. The Skippy was about a kangaroo, and Skippy was basically a mystery solver kind of type thing. So everyone would just be kind of sitting around it. It was family. They used to sit around I think it was a search and rescue place, which was kind of handy. Skippy had come in, she'd go.
I agree with everything that you just said that I didn't hear.
What? Little Timmy fell down the well. And then you get the kangaroo hand paw being coming over there on the map. I think that's what's happening with you and your cat right now.
And they used a new paw every show. So how many wallabies died for that show?
They go off.
Well, yeah, because it's rotting flesh.
You don't stuff them properly.
Yeah, but Skippy is the Australian version of Lassie. So
I'd like to have a computer algorithm right now that I could go. I'd like to see both in the same 15-minute film, just the best bits.
Are you creating a conspiracy theory that Lassie was in a horrible accident and Lassie's consciousness was moved to a wallaby because that was the closest animal they had?
Have you ever seen them in the same room?
No, but I think there was like 7 Lassies. About. Like, Lassie's been filming for 40 years, but the dog's life is only 12.
Well, they did a Dick Sargent thing on him, didn't they?
Well, see, now I use that example of, let's not argue about which was the better Darren. They're both called Dick, which is strangely enough. So they obviously their casting book was all the pages were stuck together. It's like, oh, Dick Sargent, Dick York.
They don't even read the first words. No one's ever gonna notice.
And Uncle Arthur as well, who I think he was homosexual. I'm not sure, but I'm not judging.
Who's Uncle Arthur?
He's the one that sounds like this. Slightly camp.
The name sounds familiar, but I can't piece it.
He was the
old dude from Back Over the Fence or something. He was a comedy character from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, because he's such a renowned comedic actor, his stereotypes that it's like Jabberjaw is basically based off Rodney Dangerfield.
Love Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, you're trying to figure out what the hell is a Jabberjaw?
Uncle Arthur.
Yes, I think he's the brother of what's the witch's mum? I can't remember.
You mean the Australian Glenn Robbins Uncle Arthur?
No, we're talking about Bewitched. Please stay on target.
A recurring character played by Paul Lynde on the television.
Yeah, there you are, Paul Lynde. Yeah, so the people older than you that have a memory know who Paul Lynde is.
Damn you, memory keepers!
The gatekeepers to memory. I remember. I remember when I remembered.
Damn you, storytellers and people who can remember the punchline on a joke.
Well, let's see. I mean, the kids today, apparently, Yi, I think his name is now, but Kanye West. Really, is there any other Kanye? Someone actually said to Lemmy from Motorhead, "What do you think of Kanye?" And he goes, "I've never heard of her." However, Kanye actually did a track with Paul McCartney, going on the Beatles theme here.
That's what I'm saying. Paul's been so desperate.
Hey.
Okay, go.
When there's a pause, it doesn't mean I've finished. It's just a natural breath of a sentence.
It looked like a muddy puddle to jump into, mate.
No, it's like, he's breathing. I need to talk for 45 minutes about something else. But
I was going to start talking about Skippy again.
Yeah, we'll skip that. Anyway, Paul McCartney and Kanye actually did a track together. I haven't heard it. I don't know. But on Twitter, the responses were quite humorous. oh, I don't know who this Paul McCartney is, but it's going to help his career because he's working with Kanye and stuff like that. I'm like, wow.
You guys are serious.
And you wonder why, how can humanity be hoodwinked so well? Like, you're not taught history, even like in entertainment. Like you wheel out Oprah and people go, who's that?
I once knew someone who once came out and said, I don't read books. And that was about it.
What do
you mean you get all your information from TV?
Yeah. Well, it looks like, to quote Bill Hicks, looks like we've got ourselves a reader. What is going on here?
I was in a Waffle House.
I'm not proud of it. I was hungry. I was reading. Yeah, there you go. Love a bit of Bill. Also, for those playing at home, if someone mispronounces a word, it's because they've read it, and that means they're a reader. And so if I stuff it up, that's my defense. It's like, Chicago. It's pronounced Chicago. Yeah, whatever.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah, let's go to Chicago and get shot. Oh, apparently, the Jesse Smollett, as Dave Chappelle said, his trial is going on, but also Miss Maxwell, because I have no idea how to say her first name. Starts with a G.
Ghislaine.
I don't think that's...
Just think of Elaine and think of Jizz, and then put them together, back to front.
And the defense is coming out as well. Maybe she's a victim because she's a woman. Like, really? That's
not the OJ defense.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a bit of a stretch, but that just snapped. It's not going to stretch at all.
Does she have a female defender? And they're going to go full OJ on it?
No idea. But yeah, I've seen memes like, if the media actually followed the Maxwell case like they did with the Rittenhouse case, the world would be a better place. So
very quiet.
Yeah. And Kyle is suing 2 of the members of The View. So good on you, sir. $60 million.
The View is a US TV show who slandered him, I assume.
Yeah. Well, he's a white supremacist and he killed black people, and it's like, well, you got his sex right, his gender right. That's the only thing in that sentence.
You got to have more responsibility when you're saying that kind of stuff on TV.
Well, let's play this out, shall we? Let's bit of game theory.
Just checking my buzzer.
The former vice president of the United States called him a white supremacist, and it was like, everyone's like, please sue him, please, because Nick Sandman, the Covington kid, the rumor is he got over $200 million from CNN. Remember him back in 2019, like 3 days into 2019, and the left went nuts because a Native American with a drum got up his nose and started beating the drum, and he's smirking, and it's like, yeah, okay. Then you find out all this stuff that he's a meth head, and, not Nick, but the other guy, he's a meth head and everything else like that. And so they just dumped on this 16-year-old, like, oh, this prick, if I saw him, I'm going to punch. A lot of people that have no idea about critical thinking.
Not very cool saying that in a public forum as your opinion. So people who a lot of the time just borrow those opinions as their own. It's not cool.
But the happy ending to this, to move on from Miss Maxwell, is he sued CNN and won and got over $200 million, allegedly. So Rittenhouse is like, cha-ching. Yeah. Oh, Sweet Willie's in the background. No, Bill, that's what we were just saying. You forgot my pet name for Miss Maxwell as Jizz. Like, yeah, that's the whole premise of that 30 seconds. But it's good to hear from Sweet Willie Grant.
It's probably not even a real name. It's probably her stage name.
It's a bit of French, It seems
it's a bit of Jizz. It's a bit of lame. It's saucy.
Yeah. The red light. Where did you name your daughter? In the red light district, right near Ghislaine.
Right in the corner. I'm not going to tell. Yeah, that's sweet.
The one with the gutters. All right, I'll stop there. reminds me of a story of Iron Maiden are touring Amsterdam, the Netherlands, the Low Countries, because
Love the Netherlands.
Yeah. You think with climate change, someone may have mentioned Holland, but that's moving on. And they were in the red light district, and I believe a transaction didn't go well. and Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer, goes to the receptionist. I'd like to see the manager. I want to register a complaint. And he was basically living a Monty Python sketch, the Dead Parrot sketch.
I'm not familiar. What did he say?
Oh, well, in the Dead Parrot sketch, which is famous for Monty Python, a guy comes in with a dead parrot and says, like, hello, I'd like to register a complaint. Oh, yeah, what's wrong? This parrot, which I only bought half an hour ago, is deceased. And it's John Cleese and Michael Palin. John Cleese wrote the sketch, I think, with Graham Chapman. And the whole premise of it, he just got a thesaurus. I hate saying that word. Not a dictionary, and got all the words for dead, and there's like 17, and he just put it all in the sketch. This parrot is deceased. Deceased.
I thought you were doing French.
Yeah. Well, it's dead. So there's your homework, Cortek. After the show, if you're not doing with a show with the Pones, you have to watch the parrot sketch to understand.
I shall take it upon myself to watch Heat.
All right. Yeah, you're doing a Borat. I never got into Borat. The only part I laughed is where he's wrestling with his naked manager, and they go into the elevator and they stop till they change. That's the only funny part I laughed at. Everything else is like, really, where are my snipers?
That was some super awkward bits, but that's what he does,
Yeah. My mistake, your fault. Thanks, Bill. That's Sweet Willie the Joy Grant, who I wrote. He told me the story of how he was recruited by the CIA, and it's a great country and western song. Because he was mowing lawns for someone at a young age, and he was approached, and so I mowed my way into the CIA, and then there was a B-side, and I can't remember what the B-side was. So one day, if I ever write a country and western song, that's going to be the title.
Sounds like modern day country western. I'm not into old country and western.
There's good music and bad music, and it's different for everybody. Like, I'm not a big fan of country and western, but I'm sure we could find like some of Johnny Cash's stuff was like, oh my god, that's brilliant. And then I'm not a big fan of Keith Urban.
No, neither.
No, but people are, and good luck to them. If it's doing no harm and they enjoy it, that's all right.
Got to be a fan of something.
I accidentally watched some broadcast television. I get bored occasionally. I wonder what's on TV.
Was it terrible?
Yeah, it was James Corbin, that show, where I'm like, how does this man keep his job? And Keith was on, and like, oh, okay, I'm switching it off now, because it's like, he was good in Doctor Who, but not as a talk show host. It's just not on. And I saw a photo. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Conan retired. Crowder's probably good. Bill Maher seems to be leaving the far left ridiculousness, and he's going to be sort of more centrist because there's comedy in both sides. Like, he's not a fan of the Don, but he's pointing out all this woke crap, and like he defended Dave Chappelle because he knows their jokes.
Yeah, you don't have to choose a side to report what's going on and find it humorous.
Well, no. Well, say that to like when Donald Trump won the election. For even now, they're still doing Orange Man bad. There are people that hate Trump with a passion and wish that and vote for someone else, but they can't watch Stephen Colbert because it's been the same joke every night for 4 to 5 years. Orange Man bad. I'm like, oh. But hire a writer or something, or get better writers.
There's a few people who are convinced Australia is a complete psyop. Everything about it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, you're on the NASA payroll. Like, well, I haven't been paid for 47 years. I'd like to see the manager. Oh, hang on. You mean NASA, which was started by all those Nazi scientists?
And what's his name?
Van. Oh god, sorry, my Australian history. Van Diemen. It's like no, he's Dutch.
All of a sudden, I'm in Tasmania.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun. Big forested trees. What am I doing here? What am I doing here in the
forest? The
forest?
First Nation people, they were nearly genocide.
At least they stopped them all that logging down there, didn't they? Did they fix that like we fix the Amazon forest?
No, well, you think so, but apparently the logging people here in Victoria, the blah blah. But as Nick mentioned earlier, he said hemp, and it's like, yeah, if you want to save all these old growth forests, friggin' hemp can do it. Von Braun, thank you, Flippy. Oh, you just called Flippy this week. Must be a quiet week. No, Flippy Von Dean or anything. It's just Flippy. Hello, Flippy. Yeah, Eva Von Braun? No. Anyway, the head of NASA, who was part of the V2 rockets. I just built the rockets. I didn't notice they were blowing people's up. In the Nazi regime. And so, yeah, Project Paperclip, which was, that information was used in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And it's not really predictive programming because it's mentioning something from 70 years ago, but it's a good. Flippy, you just woke up, so your other personality. Sorry, obviously they've got out of bed, not woken up in a political system.
It's not that time somewhere in the world, is it?
Oh, you're judging people's sleeping patterns.
Sorry, I'm judging people's average time of waking up now. Sorry, that was ageist, timist, and damn rude.
Yeah, well, it's sleeping patternist, because you're 2 years of lockdown, and who knows what's going on, and we're living in fear. But there's a lot of people like, yeah, I'm over it. But as a hermit, I really haven't changed that much. It's like most people I talk to are actually online, so I don't actually. I'll be amazed at the first person that comes to my house that I invite, because it may be months.
People in the post don't count.
People on the what?
Like delivery people and stuff.
Well,
like postmen.
Well, they only get to the letterbox.
Unless sometimes you wait out there near the letterbox and say, "Hey, what's your name?" And then next time, because it's a bit weird on the first time. On the next day, or maybe you skip a day so it doesn't seem like you're waiting for the postman. Go, "Hey, insert your name here."
I got to buy you I got to for the winter solstice that we celebrate in summer. I'm going to buy you a dictionary, because hermit. I can leave the house. I mean, I did. How much of a hermit are you? Well, last Saturday I stood still for an hour, and 700,000 people walked past me, and I filmed it.
Why were you still? Were you shocked?
All right, how quickly we forget. I filmed the march.
I thought it was great.
Me by. Yeah. Well, yeah, strangely enough, more people are watching the time lapse because it's an hour long. But I thought for integrity, I put it up, and it's interesting. It's got more comments than these shows. I'm like, thanks. But the whole feeling of it, because I walked around for a little bit while there were speeches on, and it was like a music festival without crap bands and alcohol.
It's a lot of people getting together wearing the same thing. It's great. Mass collaboration is super beautiful.
I know there was like 17 protests around the country, and other people have mentioned to me that they, you could talk to, you had someone to talk to, like complete stranger, but when people call into, like, it'll be a round table, if that makes sense, where you could talk about anything from, baby raping lizard wizards to zinc and ivermectin, the Scottish town, and just, because the media is so corrupt and they're pushing a narrative, and everyone's outside that narrative, in real life. It's like when people say, "Oh, we live in a simulation." Technically, yes, it's God's imagination. But what was happening on this planet is that some bad people have put in some bad code and stuffing up the simulation on this planet, and we're fighting against that.
One sandbox.
Yeah, I like. I recently watched Foundation, the TV show. Apparently, after episode 2, it's got nothing to do with the books. It's based on the Isaac
Asimov.
Asimov, yeah, Asimov books, but I'll probably read them later. But
I think they would. I've not done the whole Foundation, but it's a classic. It's just one of those massive galaxy-wide dramas.
Yes, and the TV it's based on, so the TV show's got its own way. And because I'm not familiar with the source material, I'm like, oh, this is not bad. It's when there's an adaptation, it's like, oh, that's not bad, and then you read the books, it's like, oh, it's different, and that's all. Now, that's not a bad thing. What you want to do with bad is you watch the Wheel of Time stuff and go, what the hell is this? We are at halfway, so I'm glad I can go see what my cat's upset about. She's typing. I don't know why she's typing. I just send an email. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. This is Studio A, Planet Collingwood. I'm Cortek. He's Monty. Ah, crap. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back. 3 a.m. Eternal. KLF's going to rock you. Welcome back to Planet Collingwood. My name is Monty Dean. I've been joined by the wonderful Cortek, Lee Cortek, yes. If you enjoyed the last hour, please go to freedomslips.com and or revolution.radio and donate what you can. So we are 100% listener supported, 100% volunteer, just 100%. And I would say the longest running, what's the term?
Anything.
Longest running crowdfunded project on the internet till someone points it out that I'm wrong. Taxpayers is not really part of the GoFundMe. Mind you, GoFundMe sucks. Let's put it. Also, my opinions are my own, and I like it that way. Pineapple belongs on pizza. Fight me.
Them's fighting words.
Yeah. What are you putting pineapple on a pizza for? Because we're Australian and we survive on Hawaiian pizzas.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, controversy. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. What?
So, how did that come through?
All right, stop there. All right. Beep, boop, beep. Yeah, just. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. 1989. All right, stop that. We want to get in trouble. I think it's 8 bars. We can get away from sampling or something. So
that was 2-4 bar section.
Yeah. I like a bit of KLF. I like it. Yeah.
Cut it before
they burnt £1 million in 1989. Like good on you.
It's a great story.
Yeah, and I like their songs because they talk about Moo and all that. So
they made a how to get a track recorded for no money.
Yes, I have a copy of that. Unfortunately, you can't really it doesn't work now.
No,
because get a studio. It's like, but I've got a Macintosh.
Well, they'll talk about anyway. how to find a studio and then go in there and say, then when they go, well, you need to pay for your rehearsal. They go, well, yeah, you need to talk to this A&R guy, and there's something in the pipeline, and
Yep. Because their first song, I think it wasn't KLF. They were called Doctoring the TARDIS, and it was about Doctor Who. Doctor Who, hey Doctor Who, and yeah, that's part of the book where you find something extremely catchy and popular, and it's a good read if you can get it. Obviously now you don't have to get into $1,000 or $10,000 studio. You just buy a computer and just write and put it up on Bandcamp.
Is that how you do it?
That's one way. The SoundCloud, because we're not sponsored, so there's SoundCloud and even the YouTubes, and there's you could even put stuff up on Pirate Bay if you want. So, that's part of my plan. If my parodies of the Star Wars trilogy, if it gets copyrighted from YouTube and Odyssey and Rumble and all that, I'll put it up as a torrent on the site so people can still see it. So you're on the books to do a couple of voices because it's 3 friggin' movies. I've got to write the bloody thing. I'm not doing all the voices.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, basically what I would do is send you the part of the script that I need to do, and you'd get a copy of said film and record yourself so you can get, obviously, because you're not going to travel down here, especially with, lockdowns and
Can I choose where my said character's voice might come from?
Well, yeah, but you also need to know I'm the director and I'll say, no, don't do that. Can you do a Spanish accent?
No.
No. Even though the country is right next to Spain, I can't do Espanol. Okay.
Ben.
So yeah, it's because you should sell that. It's like, no, it's copyright hell. Disney would shut down it straight away. So it'll be free parody. I just need, which I hopefully after I move, I'll be able to center myself spiritually. And
Vimeo is good for that. Vimeo is good for artistic projects that don't get caught up on the copyright thing.
Yeah, because I think it'll be under the free use thing because it's actually a parody, and I won't be monetizing it anyway. So it's more of like a demo tape of what I can do. So I'll have to put the vision into Logic, the sound program here on Apple, and then put everything in. So slight spoiler alert, when they're in space, I'm keeping it silent or there's music because I'm not going to put every friggin' TIE fighter going because
but that's the funnest bit.
Yeah, but there's no sound in space. When you're inside the ships, they're going to be extremely loud, like a Ford Escort doing 120 miles an hour. But outside, it's just going to be very quiet. That's what happens in 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's why there's all this classical music, because there's no sound in space. There's no oxygen.
I like that behind every one of those swooshing doors, there was a guy with a hammer going swoosh. Swoosh.
If you've seen Flying High 2 or Aeroplane 2, the sequel, to open the doors they have to activate themselves, but they use different sounds and it follows them. So when you got William Shatner, he goes shh, and he goes shh, and then another guy goes shh, and he goes shh.
That's what I want out of a house, an autonomous house, a little bit of comedy, and I'm not.
No,
they're up to it yet.
No. That sounds
Surely
a bit transhuman. That sounds a bit transhumanism, my friend.
Surely the network of IoTs can get together to swap jokes. Have some kind of database of things that they have told out of their fridge and now they haven't told out of their fridge.
Yeah, I'm more a traditionalist where I'll use a doorknob in my arm.
Hold on, can you say that very slowly to this theme music?
I'm more of a traditionalist. I use a doorknob and my arm in my hand. Coming up next on Pointless Things That You Should Already Know, we're going to teach you how to start a fire.
I think that worked pretty well.
Yeah. But believer or not, Korea's done well after Squid Game, so they've got to remake the greatest Korean hero. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
I didn't see Squid Game. It seemed like more propaganda type.
Well, I got 20 minutes into it and like, A, I have to read this, and B, it didn't float my boat. Everyone go, this is fantastic, and it's like, it didn't capture me. I watched one episode of Fleabag because someone said, this is hilarious, and I watched it and gone, I think I spotted 2 jokes, and I hate the main character.
That's no good.
So for me, not a fan, and so, but I do watch Battlefield Earth, so I'm weird that way, and Hudson Hawk. So not everyone.
Someone a couple of weeks ago mentioned Starship Troopers, and I went back to have a look at that. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
So fuzzy though, so fuzzy.
I did like we saw it in the cinemas, and I was just doing a commentary all the way through it, and it wasn't recorded, and I can't remember any of the joke. The one joke I do remember is when who's the mad guy? Kevin Busey? Is that?
Oh yeah,
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey's, is that Gary Busey's son though?
Yes,
it is, because it looks exactly like him.
Oh yeah, it is. It's like, the cloning's not worked that well. Anyway, like he's in a rejuvenation tank, and I said, don't tap the glass, and then the character actually tapped the glass. That got a laugh. So good times back in '97. But it's worth watching now because of it's pointing out how it's a fascist it's a fascist society with everything. So it is a satire which most people didn't understand when it first came out.
Yeah, I thought it was still holding up apart from the fuzziness. It's just so...
Well, it was written in the 50s, and it was not a comedic satire, but it was a satire almost the same as 1984, if I can say that. And so there was a reason it was popular enough that they made it. I think they made the film, and it's got 2 more sequels or something like that. And it's like, wow. And it's like the X-Men. The whole premise behind the X-Men is dealing with racism.
There was a good decade there where there was like masses of these parody films coming out, taking off themselves.
Yes, unfortunately, I have watched Enter Meet the Spartans, and
it was just spiraling at that point.
I need that hour and a half. But yeah, it was like
not all of them are good.
No, many aren't good. But I liked Not Another Teen Movie, which strangely enough stars Chris Evans, who went on to become a Captain America, and the main female lead is actually Supergirl's sister in the CW show Supergirl.
Right.
Yeah. And there's another movie which I call The New Guy. I think it's called The New Guy. And it's DJ Qualls, who's a unique individual. But there's all like Gene Simmons in it, Vanilla Ice is in it, and it's quite good. Stars Eliza Dushku as well, and she's quite lovely.
She is a bit saucy, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, like you watch True Lies and like, wait a minute, she's 13. No. But she's basically been harassed for not all of her career, but she was sexually assaulted or attempted to when she was 13, and then in 2016 as well, because she's very saucy and some men are pigs. She's had a bit of a rough trot, but
that's no good.
No, because it's like, how dare you? She's a goddess. Because she plays Faith in Buffy, and she was in a very good show called Dollhouse. Now, both of them are made by Joss Whedon, and he turned out to be a complete twat. But he can write a good story. Yeah, all right. Don't show me. Oh, thank you.
She's apparently a political science professor.
Yeah. Well, intelligent. Yes. For those playing at home, Cortek has shown a photo of Miss Dushku, and I need to be alone for 5 minutes.
I can talk to my cat again.
Yeah.
And apparently, her father is Albanian.
Yes. I think that's where the 4 genes comes from, because who's the girl from that 70s show? Mila Kunis, whatever her name is. She's easy on the eye as well. Okay, for those people tuning in, it's not a desperate phone call between 2 guys going, I wish I met a woman. So let's
which playing cards do you want to swap?
Yeah. Oh well, I met a woman on the bus. She told me to move.
Nice.
Yeah. That did me for 3 weeks. Have I done an update on the pandemic bill that's going through Victorian government at this point in time?
Let's step again into
corona. Wait, no, you can't call it the Chinese flu. That's racist. It's like, all right, well, you can't call it the Spanish flu because that started in Nebraska or something like that.
Time to get out your favourite name book again. The Thorthor.
Yeah. I saw. No, Thorthoreth. My tongue's gone that sleep. So there's a pandemic bill going through because they need permanent pandemic rules and regulations. It's like strange because a week earlier you said there will be no more lockdowns.
I'd argue against need. Use of the word need in that sentence.
Well, let's be fair. The government kind of needs some type of framework if something disastrous happens, like if the Black Plague according to Bill Gates, and let's trust the businessman that's never been to a doctor.
Something disastrous has happened, and it's the government that is in place at the moment. So that puts you
obviously you haven't seen this, and once again you interrupted. Bill Gates has said, there may be a smallpox release or pandemic, and everyone's like, are you foreshadowing?
Shit.
What do you mean? Now, there's because smallpox has been eradicated, except for about 3 vials. 2 of them in the United States and 1's in Germany. And so if it does come out, it's like, Bill, what did you do?
Was he dressed up in the Grim Reaper and holding like the big scythe? so the next way is really going to hit him. We call it. It's an anagram.
Coming back again.
It's an anagram for no Grimbo. So it's hilarious for us. But Bill, what are you doing here, Bill? Dressed like that? Not giving you anything.
So in the Bible, when it says the gates of hell, was it referring to Bill and Melinda?
Well, he's no longer there. I mean,
well, they're broken up.
It's no longer.
It's strangely enough, Melinda Gates is turning into Kevin Kline. I don't know how Kevin feels about this, but that's just weird stuff. I mean, they're not vaccinated. Their kids aren't vaccinated. And Bill said, "Oh, go." He said to his kids, "Go earn your own money." It's like you spent $127 million on your driveway so the snow doesn't. You bastard. Anyway.
Has he got heated tiles on his driveway?
Yeah. Well, he's got.
I guess Liberace's pool used to be. You go around the edges. It was all piano keys. And he could just play his piano pool. Now I don't know if that was just like a Hollywood trick from the camera, but he looked like he had it all.
Well, it's a bit gaudy. I wouldn't say it's a bit gay. No, he was gaudy. He happened to be a homosexual, but no, that's just gaudy. That's just like, wow, calm down.
You swim up to the edge and you go.
You have to practice your instrument where you can.
You want to do more than that. Yeah.
So getting back to the pandemic bill, there should be some type of framework. It makes sense. Now, there is the state of emergency, which I think the Health Act is 2008. It's like, well, that didn't last that long, did it? 13 years. Oh, we have to do it again. And that's why one of the main reasons for the protests in the last month. Also because we're allowed to leave the house and won't be pepper sprayed by the Victorian police.
Fingers crossed.
Well, we'll see, depending on the orders from the CHO, the Chief Health Officer. Yeah, they save time. Yeah, I'm a CHO. Oh, yeah. And they.
It's like chode. Sorry.
The D is silent.
Right.
Thanks for that. Now,
steaming forward.
Steaming forward? No, moving forward. Cleveland. Why am I thinking of Cleveland?
Steamers.
Yes, thank you. Wow. This is why we're not touring, Cortek. It's not a good tour double act when you keep interrupting. Set up and then punchline. Don't interrupt the punch. Set up then punchline. If you interrupt me in the setup, I'll punch you.
All right, here you go. Ready? Here's one.
Chode. Yeah. So you're just digging a hole now.
Dig up.
That's what my cat does when she has a. Right now, the pandemic bill. There's the state of emergency, which runs out on December the 15th. And the government's freaking out because we're still in the middle of a pandemic because Optimus Prime, Omicron or whatever, Unicron or what's it called?
Lord Dan Omicron.
Yeah, that one is coming, and the next one will be Omega. And we'll get into the science of said variant soon. So they're freaking out, and interesting enough, Biden's stopped people traveling from Africa, and he's lauded as a hero, but he complained about Trump doing the same thing, and that's just hypocrisy and political crap. So it just keeps going on and on and on. So they're pushing through this bill, which I love this bit. 60 QCs, which is Queen's Counsel, which is the very top of lawyerdom.
You can't get any more high on that lawyerdom ladder.
Well, you become a judge, so you cross the bench type thing.
You almost can't get any higher than that.
No, well, you become Supreme Court judge, and you become as a lawyer, that's the highest. But then you can become a judge and get paid off with little boys or something. I don't know. All conjecture.
Yeah.
New. 60 of the QCs actually wrote an open letter to the government saying, yeah, this bill, not sure about it. And one of the senators in the chamber actually said, have you ever tried to get 60 QCs to do anything? And they've done this bill. But to skip forward that...
they've done the bill or they're fighting against the bill?
They're fighting against the bill, but last week They were trying to push it through on Tuesday. Then on
in the dead of night.
No. Stop interrupting.
Midday.
It was the sun was out, and if you keep interrupting me, I'll knock your lights out.
Okay,
Right.
ready? I'm ready.
All right, good. So on Tuesday, the government were pushing it through because they had the numbers. It was like 19 to 18 for the votes. Then on Wednesday, a former Labor Party member who is in the Senate came back because he was vaccinated and said, I'm going to vote against the bill. So on Thursday, hang on, we'll pause the bill. And by the way, and 20 minutes later, restrictions are being lifted because we're near 90. I'm like, yeah, all right, that's lovely politics, you twang. And so they were courting or threatening, I'm not sure which, more of the crossbenchers, because I think there's 8 crossbenchers, 8 either small parties or independents, and so the government doesn't have full control of the upper house, the Senate. And so they need to get the numbers. So on Tuesday, it's the utmost importance we put this legislation in and make it legal. On Thursday, we're just going to relax, basically, because they don't have the numbers. And then this week, so on yesterday, Tuesday, they did a 24-hour sitting, and for 20 hours they were talking about this one bill, going through each clause and amendment. And
that sounds like a positive thing, doesn't it?
Well, they were fighting it, basically. Because it's like, all right, government, you want this bill to go through? You're going to earn it. You're going to earn it hardcore. And they've tweaked, so things were changed where I can't remember exactly what has been removed. But there was like, if you're caught without a mask, it's $300.90. You know, all this ridiculous. You know, you can go to jail for protesting and blah 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 blah. It was all out. It's
we don't want any of that in.
Well, no, it looks like a negotiation tactic. As my mum said earlier today, you go in saying, I want a 5% pay rise, but you're happy with a 2% pay rise. So you ask for more so you can cut it back to what you actually want. And they actually, so the government either threatened or coerced, we don't know, or it could be just the amendments, that a crossbencher is now sided with the government, so they have the numbers for the bill to go through. So I believe they finished around about 9 o'clock this morning, Melbourne time, and it's been ratified and it's done all its things. So now it's sent back to the lower house to vote on, and then it goes back up to the upper house to be voted on, and it'll probably go through. When I first heard the government's got numbers and the bill will probably pass, it's like, well, this is what you want, this is what you get, because there are people that it's like, pass the bill. They haven't done the critical thinking of, well, you do know if the opposition becomes government, they can use the same powers, and when that happens, you'll be screaming bloody murder, you person of interest. I'm trying not to swear. So there you go. And so that's where we're at now. And so I believe this weekend there'll be another massive protest. Interesting enough for those history buffs of Australia and Victoria. On Friday, the 3rd of December, is Eureka Day, where the Eureka Stockade was actually the attack on the Eureka Stockade was on December the 3rd, 1854. I'm going to say 54. So there'll be a mass protest for the Eureka Stockade on Saturday, and for the get rid of mandate, vaccine mandates, vaccine passports, and still fighting the bill because it's still up in the air.
Yeah. So is there a way to see what the amendments were that were made?
I'm sure there is. I don't know where that is. It'll be, yeah. I nearly said Google search. Why does anyone use Google? I mean, I have a YouTube channel, but that's not. Duck go it, and you'll probably find it. Blasphemous Buddha, hey nods. Build gallows outside your parliament. Interesting enough, 2 protests ago, someone brought some gallows and 3 nooses, and half the population lost their mind. Oh, you can't do that. They're inciting violence and death, and that's un-Australian. And it's metaphorical, but it's
supposed to put the heebie-jeebies in it.
Yeah, but it's now being used as a talking point of basically these protesters are far right, right-wing extremists.
Who's the media, though? I mean, really?
Yes, but a lot of people are still believing in the government and the media. And
Well,
so they
people
think...
still believe in Christmas. I'm going to summer solstice this year.
Yeah. See, we should meet up in the middle of next year and have our own Christmas in June.
All right.
Well, let's celebrate the winter solstice at the winter solstice.
All right, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
If we're allowed to leave our houses under this dystopian nightmare that is the Victorian government. Anyway.
Surely they'll be open to some tourism.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, why would anyone come to Victoria? Like, look, the police look after you as they punch your faces.
They really look after you.
No, we're not being. I'm not going to blasphemous own being far right. Own it. No. See, that's part of it. It's like, you get called a Nazi. It's like, well, I am. It's like, well, they kind of win if you become sort of central, and if you don't fall into that left-right paradigm, they look like morons. Well, they look like
side,
they look like the extremists. Where see, now this will make people giggle. They've been calling the protests here in Melbourne. First of all, it was fake treaties because they didn't believe that the union members would do that. It's all these neo-Nazis coming out. They went to the Reject Shop, which is like a store here, and they
we got the Reject Shop too.
Yeah, but I don't think it's outside of Australia. That's people are listing Cortek. Did I mention?
I thought we were just having chance.
Yeah, we are, but we're allowing people to sit in. So they bought high vis. This is what Bill Shorten said. All these neo Nazis and troublemakers just went to the Reject Shop and bought all this high vis. Now the problem is we're in lockdown and no stores were open, so that falls apart.
There goes that story.
Yeah, and so we're all extremists, we're all far right, and there's photos of people from Sudan, Greek, Sri Lanka, and it's like, wow, those
labels don't work anymore, do they?
No, it's not. It's like, they're all Nazis. It's like, what they came in blackface? Like, that doesn't make sense. Why would they come? And that's the thing about last weekend protest. It was basically what's the famous chocolate box? It was a sample pack for a chocolate box. Life's like a box of chocolates. You get one of everything. There was kids. There was grandparents. There was hippies. There was metalheads. There were any person you could think. Oh, except for politicians. No, there was probably one or two. But there weren't.
Watch out! They'll try, in the words of Rodney Roode, watch out! They'll try and sneak in with the humans.
Yeah, exactly. And the energy was fantastic, but it was a cross section, and that actually helped grow the protest because people, there was a group of Indians, people from India. I know we're on an American.
Yeah, not the feathers.
Yeah, not Native Americans.
Right.
And they had the drums and I think some of the flutes and stuff, and it's actual Sikhs with the turbans and the long beards and stuff like that. Strangely enough, not white supremacists. Kind of weird, but they were walking through, and
there's some crazy
you see that
instruments.
Oh yeah. So there was a festival vibe to the whole thing. My point being is like friends who knew friends that went to the thing. It's like they would see the government and commentators say, "Oh, they're all far right neo-Nazi white supremacists," and I'm sure there was probably 5 out of 700,000 or 500,000, and that caused more people to come out because they can see the hypocrisy and the blatant lying. How can you label if they're even? I put a photo up. I don't know if I'm repeating myself, so if I am, I do apologize. But I am making a point. Put a photo up on Instagram, and there were Nazi symbols there. I saw a photo of someone holding up a placard with the swastika, but the wording was blurred.
It was a symbol used before the Nazis were here.
Yeah, but the point of the placard
I don't think anyone was that old. But
the point of the placard was we don't want our government to turn into Nazis, and they had the symbol there. It was a negative
that doesn't
placard.
Make them Nazis, yeah.
No, that's the point I'm trying to make here. Like people would just see that without thinking. It's like, oh, see, there's Nazis there. There was the Nazi symbol. Well, what does the wording say? Oh, I don't need to know that.
I don't need to do my own research.
Exactly. One person says, "Oh, there was 10,000 people at the protest. Oh, they failed." And then there's an hour of footage showing you there's like 10,000 people walking past me in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people don't want to open their own eyes to that cognitive dissonance of the bigger questions it may rise.
No, it's the local narrative, which is part of the global narrative. Just going to the freedomslips.com chat, flipping flip, changed their name. Excellent.
Nice.
Don't fall into the left white paradigm. Because white people are evil. It's no. Some people you can't. Yeah, the definition limitates interpretation when you're trying to say there are only two ways to do things. Yeah, and also they're changing words. Like the COVID shot, they call it a vaccine, but a vaccine should immunize you.
Yeah, it's like why Kentucky Fried Chicken can't be called chicken anymore. It's the same thing. Because it's not technically chicken.
Well, they actually changed it from Kentucky Fried Chicken to KFC because they were worried the word fried would not bring people in.
I thought it was the chicken thing they weren't legally able to use anymore because they'd put too many hormones in them and stuff.
No, I think that's just a fevered dream that you had once. But I thought it was because of fried, because having fried in their title, that's not going to work well for the health conscious. And the interesting thing is I was watching Stranger Things and they had Kentucky Fried Chicken, but they referred to it as KFC. And I'm like, it's not 84. No.
Yeah, you would have definitely not been calling it KFC.
No, not back then. And also, it's a game I play watching recently made TV shows when they're outside. 1983, fucking chemtrail. Oh, sorry, fluffing.
That wouldn't have been there. That wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, there's all these chemtrails in the shot, and it's like, this is not 1992.
There's people who get paid a lot of money to make sure that stuff matches up from scene to scene in the movie industry.
Yeah, continuity. Yeah,
continuity people. Yeah.
Interesting enough, with the Alec Baldwin thing, there is they actually have someone on set to make sure they're following the script and the scenes, and so they get the continuity correct. So unlike, say, in Game of Thrones season 8, somehow they left a Starbucks coffee cup on the table, and it's like, how did that? No one saw it on the day. The editor missed it. The directors missed it. Idiots. Or they did it on
rich
purpose.
Tapestry of failure.
Yeah, there's many people. Yeah, there's 17 layers to get through that. And so the Alec Baldwin, it has come out that the continuity person actually said Mr. Baldwin didn't need a revolver in the scene he was about to film. And it's like,
that's a little odd.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of odd things going on there. Especially, but we'll see how that unfolds. But
he's kind of connected to Hollywood, there is that.
Kinda.
There is that whole trying to. I mean, if an actual sacrifice of actual people can't be done, or you just can't get there to do it, or whatever, I guess the next best thing is someone famous, so people register that emotional energy or something.
Yeah, but really, I mean, even if he's joking around and he's acting, why would you allegedly he said, "I'm going to shoot you or kill you," or something ridiculous like that. But who knows how much of it is misinformation? If he's mucking about, as the kids do, why would you pull the trigger? Wouldn't you just say bang?
Yeah.
Sorry, was I thinking?
I don't like the look of that guy either.
But what actually happened is
he doesn't like you either.
The bullet went through the cinematographer and hit the director, so it killed her and wounded him. And it's like, really? Like, I mean, apart from he didn't check the gun. Why was he handed the gun with a live round? It's
Why the hell would there be live rounds in there under any circumstances?
Because apparently the gun was used for real live shooting the day before or something. Like, in this entire story, I'm trying to find any positive because it just sounds
dumb.
Yeah, it's just.
So who's the person who was responsible for the armory dude? Surely they're responsible then.
Yes, she is. and it could have been a woke promotion. We don't know. Once again, I don't know. To me, it's like a massive distraction. And if the family of the person who died gets their way, there'll probably be justice. But he probably just pays a fine because he's extremely rich. So there you go. All from the chat room. No, that's the Daft paradigm, the right Daft paradigm. Yeah, but apparently, my female cousins in the United States, they're allowed the ladies to join the draft.
I didn't know there was one.
Well, yeah, because they can't get, unlike Australians.
Isn't the whole point to a draft being that you have no choice in it?
Mm-hmm.
They just join the army.
Yeah, no, a draft is actually used because they're losing too many personnel on the battlefield, and so the draft is you force citizens to defend the country. Not like there was a draft here during the Vietnam War because there wasn't enough volunteers.
And that pertains to frontline infantry specifically.
Yeah, cannon fodder. Yeah. So now the ladies can join, and it's like, right.
Well, congratulations, ladies. You can also be cannon fodder.
And I won't quote her directly, but that Star Wars girl pointed out she used a rude word. Doesn't start with a K.
What does it start with?
C. For God's sake, man.
What's the second letter?
Have you seen the tourism ad for the Northern Territory?
See,
don't say it. So you said it. Thank you very much. Anyway, my point is, when a war is declared, you'll probably find out most of the women will get pregnant. Like, I can't go to war. Mind you, if you listen to Joe Biden, and why would anyone do it unless you need to go to sleep?
Hey, come on.
Apparently, they're going to make flight suits for the F-15 pilots so they can have a baby. If they're pregnant,
they've sold those already. They've sold those.
Well, okay. First question: why is anyone who's pregnant going to go up into a warplane that can travel at 3G?
It's about selling more military merchandise. The merchandise is the sweetest.
Yeah, but really, if you've ever had a wife and she's pregnant with your child,
I have a new wife.
Just my mind went to Portland, so I had to make sure the scenario was correct. You and your wife have created a life in her belly, as nature does. And do you want to get into a warplane and do 6.5 Gs above the speed from the sound barrier?
Only if they have the appropriate attire.
Well, if the flight suit is snug and has the baby, why would you put a child into that stress?
I'd like fur on the outside and probably fur on the inside.
Yeah, so basically no. That's what
It's just about profiting from the merch shirts when you can't sell bullets anymore.
Yes, but it's a stupid idea as well because no, females can do anything. Why would anyone who's pregnant go into a plane that? I'm repeating the question because you haven't answered it.
You wouldn't.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Jeez, for the love of you. I don't know.
They could if they wanted to. They could put one toe in and then jump right back out.
Yeah, mind you, there's the same people that think that abortion is cosmetic surgeries. Like, I've had 10. Like, you should really buy a condom and use it.
I thought you were saying you had 10 abortions then.
No, not me. I was in character. I was being a thespian.
Thespians.
Yes.
Tread the board. Be a thespian today.
I watched this movie recently, and they were lesbians, and so they were thespian lesbians.
Were they? What musical were they doing?
Well, no, thespian means actor.
I thought it was just stage actors. And I thought they all do musicals because there's, it's either movies or musicals.
I used to say I don't understand musicals. Why would anyone start singing out of character? And then, like, 3 of my favorite films are technically musicals, which is the South Park movie, Blues Brothers, and another one.
Blues Brothers do it well, though.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a comedy, but it happens to be a musical.
I think like all other musicals are forced as much as we're forced to have a national anthem that sucks for every country.
If you've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the joke is they stopped the musical part of it. But one day, lad, all this will be yours. What, the curtains? No, not the bloody curtains. Everything beyond it. How do you feel about that? It makes me makes me want to sing. All right, stop that. So, we're not bloody doing that. So I've been watching the Beatles. They do impressions of those very forthright Yorkshiremen. Oh, I don't think I like you. What? Why is there fruit on my pizza? Why am I eating pizza in the first place? So yeah, there you go.
Is there lots of candid moments like that? Of them just talking, I mean.
Oh yeah, they're joking around. Yeah, they take the piss a lot. They would rehearse songs. The latest one that I can remember is they were singing a song, but they had their teeth clenched, so they're singing it like this, and it's very disturbing to see Paul McCartney and John Lennon with clenched teeth and eyes, and they're singing like just a show of us, and like, so yeah, they in a way it's a form of learning where you make fun and you take the piss, like with the old Doctor Who. They would do rehearsals, and so they would have like a week of rehearsals and then do a couple of record the episodes. But the directors will either do a comedy one or the sped up one, just so people know their lines and they get the giggles out of the way, especially with Doctor Who where there's so much techno babble. And so when they're actually performing, they don't start giggling uncontrollably.
Yeah, I saw them in some interviews like that, and it seemed like a script. I don't know whether that was just them generally bouncing off each other and having a laugh about whatever came up or whatever, or whether it was scripted.
In the theatre, it's called corpsing, because what actually means is when a character dies on stage, they have to act that they're dead. But if they're having a laughing fit, it's like, shut up, you're dead. And that's why it's called corpsing, when you start laughing, you know. But if you remember, here's a local reference for the Australians.
Is it more of your streets in your CBD?
No, if you didn't interrupt, I would have shared the information, and right. your answer would have been, your question would have been answered. Not your answer. Your answer has been questioned, but I can do that too.
Corpsing.
Yes, I know. Don't share it with me.
Hey, look what I just found.
Yeah, thank you. It's an audio medium. The Fast Forward and Magnus Sabansky and all that, and like they're filming in front of a live audience, and they're doing the jokes, and they're funny, and because it's still funny to them, and so they're trying not to laugh, and it makes the audience laugh more when they start corpsing.
It makes me laugh more when I see someone trying to hold it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially someone who had written it and probably rehearsed it a couple of times and still found it that funny.
Yeah. Oh, but I hate when comics laugh at their own jokes. Well, why?
They're contagious.
Funny. Yeah, that is true. Laughter is contagious. When you enter a room and people are laughing, then you start laughing and you have no idea why.
Someone said the other day that they can cure hiccups by putting your fingers in your ears. They said they can cure you by putting their fingers in your ears.
Well, the whole thing about the hiccups is your diaphragm goes out of sync, and so you either get a scare or you drink water backward. It's
or hold your nose.
Yeah, you whatever happens,
like
whatever
it's pressure related.
Yeah, whatever you do, it's just to distract you, so the body goes back into its own rhythm.
So you're saying that it's codswaddle.
No, it's by me sticking my fingers in your ears, because I'm focusing on that. The diaphragm can go back into its natural sync. Or if you're drinking
water.
How
would I even know when I'm going to hiccup? We could be standing there for ages.
Well, I would ask you, do you have the hiccups then?
Not right now.
Yeah, because hiccups are sort of involuntary, and you don't have a hiccup and then 20 minutes later another hiccup.
If you don't mind, I will call you, though, if I do get the hiccups. Check.
Yeah. Me with my go-go gadget arms. What, you're 1,000 kilometers from me?
Hold on, take a couple minutes to get up there. So, pass the border.
I just punched a guy in Albury. Yeah.
Whoops.
Soz.
Yes. So,
hang on, I'm reading the chat. There's Bitchut Chan. I can't say that. Sedutz. I bet Monty makes more jokes after having a lagers. He just makes them larger. stand on your head and gargle peanut butter. Well, yeah, you can't gargle sand. Anyway, moving on.
That sounds like I'd like to hear those lyrics to some kind of new wave music.
Well, a bit of synth wave, which is popular with the kids. I bet you make jokes after a couple of we'll do the Yorkshire voice. Yeah, Can you write some really good techno, and then I'll just do some Yorkshire lyrics over the top.
Yorkshire techno pudding.
Yeah, exactly. By gum lad, I love to get on the dance floor and shake my booty. There you go.
Nice.
Genre. Lenny Henry actually described the modern day dance music as a synthesizer falling down a mine shaft. Ping, 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 ping. Like, yeah, but there's some good stuff though. I'm a big fan of Infected Mushroom. Those wacky Israelites.
What do they do?
You've never heard of Infected Mushroom?
No.
And you're into electronic music?
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah. Are you new to this planet?
I don't listen to a lot of music.
The Infected Mushroom are a duo from Israel, and they've been pumping out the electronic muse for over 2 decades. I recommend them. You'll probably enjoy.
Nice.
Yes, because they have like tuned down to guitars down to C, and it fits perfectly. So add that to your homework sheet. Infected Mushroom. Yeah, I know what that. Stop sharing the links with me.
This is my homework sheet. It's easier that way. Then I don't have to make 2 sheets.
Well, yeah, there is. Yeah, pen. What's a pen? I'm not writing it down.
How long do you think it's going to take until they stop giving pens to people in primary schools and give them keyboards instead?
This will make you giggle. Hang on, I need to have a bit of a beverage to moisten the throat. Oh, that's good squishy. Now, someone shared one of the latest tablets, iPhone, iPads, or whatever. An
Apple
iPad.
Products.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Apple, but they've added a handset like a phone.
You mean like the rotary dial phone handsets?
Yeah, like an actual phone handset. And a cord.
Hold on. That's
to a tablet.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
The circle is complete.
Next,
new from Crapple. We've got wax discs coming out.
We've got rocks with handles, sticks with handles, bricks with handles.
Well, I still don't understand why my fridge needs the internet. I mean, what, at 3 a.m. when I'm getting a glass of milk, I like a quick fap? It doesn't make sense.
At the fridge?
Mm.
You could.
Yes, I know I could, but why? Why would it, like...
Well, the mood strikes when the mood strikes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently there was a sign in a Starbucks, please do not masturbate in store. And it's like, well, how does anyone do that? They've got a phone in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other.
Because it happens quite often for them to put up signs.
Well, oh, yeah, there's some signs of like, okay, what happened here for that sign to go up? Like, no penguins.
They gave away free Wi-Fi is what they did. They knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, but really, like a store in New Zealand, no penguins? What happened here?
So you haven't drank anything in 4 hours.
You're scaring the customers and you're making a mess.
It's just me and my rock, with my handled rock.
New rock handles. New from Planet Collingwood.
Mini handled Twiggy rock over there.
Yeah. Well, some genius, and I do mean genius, it's not like an insult, selling pet rocks. That's brilliant.
Motsy on it, so Etsy.
Yeah, see, pet rocks with handles. Travel anywhere.
Don't steal that idea and get some rocks and put some handles on them. Someone is going to go, oh, these are amazing. This is the next NFT business. We can look at all the things. Look at all the places you can take this. It's easy to carry handle.
And you can
someone's
defend yourself.
Point out, someone's going to point out, nature had the best design to begin with.
I think
for 5 minutes, I'll be that piano tie guy.
Yeah, just sell 5 million of them and I'll be happy. I came up with the idea last week that you interrupted now, and I can't remember what it was.
I thought I came up with the idea of once I'd done tied my shoes, I decided to tie the bows once more, and I thought I'd invented the double knot.
I remember saying cooey and thought, I've come up with a new word. No.
Was that you who invented that?
No, because it's in a film from 1932, so I would say not.
I'm claiming to have coined the gaming term camping.
Okay, you'll have to explain that because the comic brain's just running wild now.
It was when some of the first multiplayers were out. You had, it was basically two teams running at each other in a sandbox.
Yeah, yep.
And you would then there was some variations where capture the flag where you'd have to get to their end of their side and try and achieve something. So there was a whole bunch of people who didn't run, and it was then that it seemed like they had made camp.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because camping, I was like, that's a bit sexual.
It's not cool. There's no kudos for camping.
Well, there's a T-shirt. But as a military maneuver, it's you set a guard.
Yeah, sure.
But
we're talking about fun times.
Yeah, where in a virtual reality, killing people. Hey, at least it's in a virtual reality.
It's different. People know the difference.
Yeah,
I'm going to get into those conversations about people don't know the difference, and it's causing people to live out that same behavior. That's what they're in there doing it for, because you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah, and if people call it time wasting. Well, I would say this show could be time wasting because we're near the end. I'm like, wow, that went quick. I'm like, whew.
Oh, cripes.
Yeah, we were just talking fluff, and I hope you enjoyed it. So
I have, I think this evening, I am going to get on a pirate ship and battle it out with other pirate ships. I've never been on a pirate ship. It's a cooperative affair, and I may just drink rum and wear a hat.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the high seas.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, but with at the Bay of Pirates, just finding.
Oh no!
Let me finish. Let me. Hey, B, C, D. Thank you very much. Download the discography of Infected Mushroom and have a listen.
I will have a look and listen.
Yeah, they're very good. They did a song with Jonathan Davis from Korn, which is quite good, and everything else. So there you go.
Are they a little heavy?
Oh, they can be, yeah. They filled the dance floor.
I like a little heavy.
Yeah, well, as I said, they've got tuned. Most guitars are tuned to E. Theirs are down to C, so it's heavy. So, I think it's The Legend of the Black Shawarma. Get that album. That's got a mixture of dance and guitar, and that's the one with Jonathan Davis on it. So,
cool.
There you go. That's
like
Collingwood.
Any genre trying to kind of mix the
musicians,
analog and digital. It's a tricky business.
They're musicians. That's why they're still popular. And so, they're sellouts. It's like, no, they're writing songs, not got high and pressed 6 buttons on a drum machine and created an 18-minute song.
You tell them.
Yeah, because get into the dance music. It's like, what album should I buy? Oh, nah, just turn up, and it's just different. But then you get bands like, I think Orbital. They were huge. Even you can go back to what do they call it? New Order. They were one of the first sort of dancey type people in that electronic stuff. Chemical Brothers and the Crystal Method. A lot of drug references, strangely enough.
Yeah, Crystal Method got taken up by a lot of video games early. They were on that bandwagon really early.
Yeah.
I still love the Chemical Brothers. They got a lot of energy in everything they do. I got a lot of time for that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Crystal Method, Infected Mushroom. It's like, like all bad drugs.
I'll check those. I'll check that out if you're saying them in the same sentence.
Yeah. Musicians actually creating, I think it's Legion of Boom, which is the Crystal Method. They did tracks with Tom Morello and even and the Prodigy as well. Yeah, it's that sort of level. Yeah, nice. That level. So there you go. So we're just counting down the moments till the break kicks in. So you have been listening to Planet Collingwood. My name is Monty Dean. He's Cortek, the interrupter. Yeah, yes. Well, actually, I'll quote Blasphemous Buddha. Where is it? Where?
Interrupting cow.
Leave cows alone. MD, you need to take Cortek to sidekick school. Lol. Yes.
All right, let's go.
If there is one. If not, we have to create one first. Now, what a sidekick
I'm
join.
off to university.
Yeah.
Cloud University.
I went to Humiversity. I went to a university. Yeah. So
I've never heard that word before. That's nice.
Nice. I don't think Pones is on air online, so I don't think there will be an after party. Monsieur Bitchute, till the sun comes up. Well, the sun's going down here because hello from the future. You have been listening to this is Planet Collingwood on freedomslips.com, Studio A. If it's on the YouTubes or Odyssey or Spotify, Google Play, and what else am I on? Apple Podcast. 16. Yeah, there's 16 all up. I had a list somewhere, but I'll find that when I move. So if you enjoyed it and you feel like I'm sharing a couple of bucks, awesome. If you don't, just share it. The main point is that you laughed at some point, and you could spend $15 to go see a comedy show and not laugh because it's all that PC woke crap that's like, Donald Trump's fat, yeah, Orange Man bad. There you go. Hey, stumps up. We'll be back in 6 days and 22 hours. That's the orbit of Planet Collingwood. I hope you enjoyed it. That's the main point. We did. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Have fun. Look after yourself. And be awesome. See you soon.